What's going on, y'all? My name's Joltage, and today, bringing you yet more SPL coverage. This time, the first match of Week 3 between ZF of the Falcons and Heysup of the Classiest. Now, coming into this week, Heysup was 0-2, and ZF was 1-1, I want to say. Yeah, 1-1 sounds good. I'm sorry I wasn't able to catch this one live. These guys literally just played, and I was unaware when they were playing or that they played at all. And I just kind of was in the SPL thread, and it was like, oh, they played. And I was like, oh, damn. Oh, well. Not that I would have been able to catch it live anyway. I was actually in class, but still. Anyway, so looking at the teams, this is not the first time I've watched this replay, obviously, but looking at the teams getting into game, I determined my first impressions was that I really liked Heysup's team, and ZF's team just kind of looked really standardly ZF, with just, I don't know, it just looked like something he would bring in general. But these definitely cool looking teams, yeah. I suppose that's really not that important, but initial impressions for both sides. On Heysup's side, you see Omanite likely carrying rocks and spikes, being that weak armor set with knockoff and scald most likely. You've got Staryu, likely analytic, could be life orb, though more likely to be Eviolite, just because Mudbray and Punku form up the rest of the defensive core along with Vullaby. The Vullaby could always be a weak armor variant, which without a clear sweeper on the team, you lean towards it might be a weak armor variant. If that isn't the weak armor variant, then you look for potentially a nasty block Krogunk or bulk up or in some capacity, but that being less likely. At least that's what I would look at initially in this team. Mudbray likely rest talk, because I just think that's what most people prefer these days, and Pumpkaboo being its standard set. Over on ZF's team, you have a much more just very standard comp. With Onyx as your rock setter, you got Fire, Water, Grass, Corn, Ponyta, Staryu, and Pumpkaboo, likely all of them being defensive. Ponyta could potentially be like Z Sunny Day, which would be kind of cool to see. Z Sunny Day Ponyta kind of matches up fairly well against Heysup as well, but you don't necessarily bank on that. In initial thoughts, you don't think that, at least. Yeah, and then you've got Krogunk as your Gloomon, protect you against Shell Smashers in particular. Not really Shelter, but Shelter's really fucking good, and it's hard to check with one thing, though the priority from Vacuum Wave would definitely help. And then you've got Carvana as your clear late game cleaner and WinCon. Carvana lost its best partner with the ban of Gothita, so it hasn't really seen much play this SPL, but it's good to see it here. I think Ponyta is also making its debut, which is a bit more surprising. But anyway, let's just hop into game, shall we? First turn, we've got lead Onyx, as it should be expected, versus the Vullaby. Vullaby's going to U-turn out, telling you that's going to be a Scarf Vullaby rather than a weak armor, or rather than a weak armor set, which is good to know for ZF. Out comes Omanite. Onyx obviously didn't have it sturdy and didn't really have anything it could really do. Didn't want to take a scald there, but but Heysup decides to set the rocks as the Staryu comes out. Obviously, Heysup has a Pumpkaboo, which can theoretically spin block Staryu, but instead he decides to, instead of trying to spin block it that turn, he goes for the knockoff as Staryu reveals the T-Bolt. This turn, ZF makes a really good play and goes for the Ice Beam, predicting the Pumpkaboo and just straight up 2 KOing it. Not much wants to come in on the Ice Beam, especially knowing that ZF has the Thunderbolt. Anyway, out comes Krogunk, and with Ice Beam and with Ice Beam and Thunderbolt shown, you are pretty confident that this Staryu does not have Psychic, which is a very popular coverage move on Staryu, especially in ORAS, though less so in this gen. So Croagunk can definitely check the Staryu. Anyway, Staryu is going to go for the Rapid Spin, as Croagunk is going to go right for the Sludge Bomb. That's going to do a lot, leading you to believe this might be an offensive Croagunk. Obviously, the Poison sucks, but Croagunk would have been able to pick up the kill the next turn with the Vacuum Wave anyway, though ZF could have had some fodder for later. Anyway, Onix is going to come out. Onix does outspeed Croagunk and is not KO'd by Vacuum Wave from this range, so it's definitely going to threaten out the Croagunk. And Heysup is going to go into his Staryu, I believe. Yes, he does. And it's going to eat the Earthquake fairly well. Heysup's going to pull double this turn out to Omanite, as ZF's going to go out to his Pumpkaboo. I believe that Heysup was... Wait, why would Heysup do that? He had Staryu in, wanted to get Omanite in. Yeah, which was kind of a weird play, but I mean, ZF reads that, I guess, or no, he just goes to his Pumpkaboo because he doesn't want the spin. That was weird. I don't really know why Heysup went to the Omanite here. Maybe just trying to get up rocks or something. I suppose that's not important either. Anyway, so Pumpkaboo is in versus Omanite. Heysup decides to just sack his Omanite and get up his rocks there. Now that Staryu's dead, they'll be able to stay. And Giga Drain is going to take out the Pumpkaboo. Out comes Scarfful, as we already know, so U-turn is the very expected play here, but Heysup does just go for the knockoff, knocks off Onix's Berry Juice, which is very nice for him there, and is going to switch out to Mudbray this turn. Mudbray is going to take the Earthquake less well than I expected, but it does prove to be Berry Juice, so turns out to be fine. ZF's Mudbray matchup is not great outside of Pumpkaboo. Heysup is showing a interesting move on Mudbray. I haven't really seen Roar on it before, but it very much helps keep away its checks and counters like the Pumpkaboo. And if Heysup was able to perhaps get spikes of this game, that could have really been a nuisance for ZF. Anyway, out comes Carvanha, forced out by the Roar. Carvanha being physical, I don't think it can bust through Mudbray at +1 defense from full. So ZF's gonna go out to his Pumpkaboo once again, eat an Earthquake really well, and go for the Will-O-Wisp as opposed to the Giga Drain, as Heysup is just gonna Roar once more, not really fearing Giga Drain, and get Carvanha once more. Again, ZF is gonna switch out again into his Pumpkaboo, as Mudbray is gonna switch out for the Croagunk. Now, Croagunk's in reveals to be the Nasty Plot Croagunk, a set you won't see very often, as ZF decides to just synthesis. Question there. The question first in my mind, if I was ZF, would be whether this is a Dark Pulse or a Dual Stab Croagunk. But it's going to Nasty Plot again as he goes out to his own Croagunk, seeing as he doesn't really have many checks to Croagunk outside of, like, say, Onix, but at +2, and with Onix being as low as it is, it's not really check either. And Ponyta isn't necessarily not a check, but depending on the set, it could prove to be an issue. Anyway, the Sludge Bomb from Heysup's Croagunk is going to bring ZF's Croagunk down to 1 HP and pop ZF's Berry Juice. ZF's Croagunk is also going to show off that it is a Thief variant. I'm going to steal Heysup's Berry Juice. Heysup is just going to get to +6 this next turn and eat the Sludge Bomb fairly comfortably. Go for the Sludge Bomb of his own, take out the Croagunk. And out comes ZF's Ponyta. Question being whether it can lift Vacuum Wave. It cannot. ZF posts a calc there of these what standard Ponyta and Croagunk, how that interaction would work out. But turns out he wasn't actually an EV-like variant, so that really didn't matter. And Krogunk is just going to be able to clean up the game with a combination of Sludge Bomb and Vacuum Wave. And Heysup is going to grab his first win of the season, improving to 1-2. ZF, unfortunately for him, is going to fall to 1-2 on the year. But good game and a excellent showcase of an underutilized sweeper in Nasty Plot Krogunk. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, comment with any feedback you have, and stay subscribed for more competitive LC content, including every single LC game this SPL season. Yeah, hopefully I catch more live, but if not, they will be coming in this replay format. But anyway, guys, my name's Joltich, and I will see you next time.